Do you ever wish that your tripod was just a little bit taller? I don't think you'll have that problem with this one. This is the K&F Concept T254AB tripod. It's very tall. It's got some very interesting features, and it's actually not very expensive. So is it any good? Well, let's do a bit of photography, shall we? And I'll tell you what I think of it. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do, and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. And today I'm doing a review of this tripod. It's the K&F Concept T254A8, although I think it's listed as something other than that on the website, so I'll put any other information on the screen now. I started off by saying that this was actually relatively cheap, and it is. Now I guess prices will vary depending on the currency and where you are, and could change with time. But right now, as I'm filming this on the K&F Concept Spain website, this is 140 euros, which for a tripod of this size and with the features that we'll come on to later is very, very cheap. Now, as you've probably guessed, at that sort of price and this sort of size, this is not carbon fibre. You'd be paying a lot more for carbon fibre. This is aluminium. And of course, aluminium is heavier than carbon fibre. But still, this tripod is weighing in, everything included, the head and everything, at 2 kilos. So it's very easy to carry around. This is a 4-leg section tripod, secured with twist locks. The top leg section is, I think, 25mm diameter, and the bottom one is 16. So not massive, but not really spindly either. Leg locks work very nicely. The feet do unscrew, so if you have a mind to change them for spikes or something like that, you can do that. Now, although this tripod is big, it actually folds up pretty small. You can put the column up and reverse the legs, and I think it then folds up to something like about 57 centimeters. So not exactly a small travel tripod, but not massive either. With the legs fully extended and the center column down, you've got a pretty tall tripod. Now, I think I'm going to take a shot of this scene. We've got the monument to the fishermen here, with some waves coming in behind it and some really nice cloud patterns. It's kind of mid to late afternoon, but it's a pretty cloudy day. The light's just hitting it. I'm going to put the monument right in the middle. We've got some quite nice smooth sand in the foreground, and the waves are kind of rolling in the background. Nice. Simple, but nice. Of course, one really good way to test out a tripod is to run some long exposures. So I'm going to stick with this scene, and I'm going to pop on some filters, see how long an exposure I can get, and to see how stable it is. I have to say, at the moment, it's on sand, which isn't the most stable environment you can get, but it feels really nice and solid. So let's get some filters on. There are they. Oh, there. F8 and 2.5 minutes. actually think it looks better with some movement and texture in the waves. And what I want to do is try to include a bit more of the sea in the scene. That's actually quite difficult to do because the sea is significantly lower than the monument. But that's actually where the extra height comes in. I'm not using anywhere near all of it. I've just extended the center column a bit. And that's just letting me get a slightly different perspective on this scene, which might look quite interesting. 6-stop ND filter to get about 1/4 of a second exposure. Okay, this center column is quite clever. It's actually 2 sections. Undo a little locking collar here, and the first bit of the center column comes up. Now what you may notice is there's an additional, almost like a ball head here. It's got a rotating element to it, and a locking screw here. And what you can do is you can undo this and extend that center column even further. There is a maximum marker on it, which is there. Now at the moment I've got the legs collapsed down a fair way, but with the legs fully extended and the center column fully extended, what you've got here is a 2.4 meter tall to this top plate. 2.4 meters, that's about 94 inches. That's just a fraction under 8 feet. That's pretty tall. In fact, I can't even reach the camera if I put it up that high. Now, I can't imagine many circumstances where you're going to want to use that kind of height in normal shooting. However, sometimes if you're shooting on a hill and you've got 2 of the tripod legs extended down a hill, you're using up a lot of the tripod height just to overcome the slope. So having this kind of flexibility could be really useful, if you need to get extra height. To be honest, I would imagine if you shot this at, 8 feet tall, you're probably going to get a little bit of wobble in there. Maybe we'll do a quick test on that. Just doing a quick test, I've started some video running and extended the tripod up to its maximum height, 55 to 200 lens, 200mm, and we'll see how stable the video is when I take it down. Another interesting feature on this is this top part of the center column can be flipped over. It's pretty easy. Unscrew it, lift it all the way up and rotate it over. Put it back to a safe distance and lock it in. This means you can point the camera straight down, which can be great for some of those kind of abstract shots. Of course, what you can also do is use this as a way of getting in close to subjects that would otherwise be a problem with the tripod legs. So simply a case of moving it maybe back a little bit just for balance. And then of course you can put the camera like that. Might be really useful for macro, or even like tabletop photography could be very useful for that. Thought I'd try and get some shots looking across here. Some quite nice clouds up there. We've got waves washing up the beach and along the breakwater. Because I want to get some movement in the water, I've got 6-stop ND filter on. By the way, that's the K&F Concept magnetic 6-stop. wide angle, got the breakwater going diagonally across the scene, favouring the sky a little bit. The 6-stop ND at f9's letting me get 1/4 of a second, which should get that nice sense of movement in the water. Got a pretty standard ball head here. It's a 28mm ball. It's got the usual locks on it, one to enable it to be rotated as a pan, and then the other one enables the adjustment of the ball. Just thought I'd use a little bit more of the height of the legs. I had the bottom sections collapsed a little bit, but as you can see, I've got the centre column down. The legs are partially sunk in the sand because you have to, and even then I've got a lot of height. Do one more long exposure. Got the buildings along the front here and some really dark, moody skies over the top. Got a 10-stop and a 6-stop filter on. Should allow me to get 2 minutes at f8. Okay, a couple of other things to mention before I get into the wrap up. You can remove the centre column and invert it to put the camera underneath if you want to shoot low down. And of course you can use that articulating thing as well, so you can hang it upside down and then kind of push the camera out at an angle if you want to. Again, maybe very useful for macro. And also for very wide angle if you want to try to make sure that you're not getting the tripod legs in the shot when you're shooting with the camera upside down. One of the legs detaches and you can put the head on that and you've got a pretty tall monopod. So finally, let's do the wrap up. Likes and dislikes. There's an awful lot about this tripod to like. For the money, you're getting a lot of tripod. It's big, it seems pretty solid. The twist locks seem to be good on it. You've got this very clever articulating center column. And I will say, I did have a tripod years ago that had an articulating center column, and it was a pain to use. It was fiddly, it was awkward. This one is easy, it works really, really well. You're getting a ball head. The whole thing comes in at 2 kilos. Yes, it's aluminium, but it's not too heavy to carry around. Anything I don't like about it? Well, inverting the center column to shoot low down is a bit fiddly. You have to unscrew the bottom hook thing here first, take that out, pull the center column out, turn it over, put it down. You know, to be honest, if there was an option for a short center column to go in to replace this whole mechanism as a, you know, as an alternative shooting arrangement, that would be great. Either that comes with it, or that you could buy separately. Because even without the center column, this is a tall tripod, so you don't always need all that extra that you've got in there. Although I've been playing around with the height of stuff today and it's proven to be quite useful, I think. Having this mechanism on the top does make the tripod a bit top heavy. It's not a problem in use, but you know, if you're carrying it around, if like me you tend to strap the tripod onto a rucksack, you probably want to strap it on with this facing down, because otherwise it makes it a bit top heavy and a bit, you know, going to kind of pull you around a little bit, or at least it does me anyway. It's not a massive problem, but there you go. And probably the only other thing is the lack of a bubble level on the tripod itself makes it very difficult to level it if you want to shoot panos, and that's a particular gripe I've raised with K&F Concept before. But nevertheless, as I said, at the moment, 140 euros, I don't know, $130, I don't know what the exchange rates are at the moment. This is an awful lot of tripod for that kind of money. I'm very grateful to K&F Concept for sending it through. I'm sure it will be getting some further use, because, as I said, it is good, and I do like the height on it. So that's it. This is the T254A8, and as I said, I'm pretty sure it's got another name on the website. There's some links in the video description, which includes some additional discount you can get on it. So not only is it quite cheap, but you can get it cheaper. That's it for today. It's starting to get rather chilly, and I think it's going to rain soon, so I'm going to head for home. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions or anything about this tripod that you want to ask me, leave a comment in the video comments down below, and of course just let me know what you think about the video in there as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, likes and shares really appreciated. Comments I've already mentioned. Stick around to the end for my recommended viewing as always, and if you're new here and you've enjoyed this and you want to see more of my stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.